In and out of school literacy practices. For my in-school literacy practice, I observed calendar time and morning message. For my out-of-school literacy practice, I observed NASCAR. Observation and participation. I sat on the carpet with the children, counted the dates, learned their chants and their songs. January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November, December, these are the months of the year. What does it mean to be literate in calendar time and morning message? Understand the terminology. Know the months of the year. The days of the week. Observation and participation in NASCAR. I watched races and read online blogs and commentary. I also discussed NASCAR with fans. What does it mean to do literacy in NASCAR? Watch the races on TV or online. Keep up with what is going on in the NASCAR community. Listen to and read commentary. Know the numbers of drivers you love and drivers you hate. What are the texts of calendar time? The calendar, the month, and the date. The number date must be counted out until today's date. The number of days that the children have been in school must be counted and separated into tens place and ones place. The morning message and math lessons, which usually discuss patterns. What are the texts of NASCAR? Numbers on the cars and information running on the screen during races. Race reviews, opinion pieces, and online fan blogs. Driver stats and race analysis blurbs. Who controls the text and how do children get access to them? The teacher holds the text as she created it and uses the text to facilitate discussion. The children gain access to the text by participating in the lesson, answering questions, and altering the text on the smartboard. Who controls the text? How do people get access to them? The media, NASCAR sponsors, and officials. NASCAR drivers and crew chiefs hold the text via interview responses and personal commentary. People gain access to text through experience and exposure to the NASCAR community. How do you code break? Due to the nature of the text, code breaking is not possible through sounding out letters, but through an understanding of the context being discussed. In context, one knows that if today is Marvelous Monday, tomorrow must be Terrific Tuesday. How do you code break? Code breaking is dependent upon prior knowledge of the sport, which must be taught. What is the key vocabulary? The numbers 1 through 31, the months of the year, the days of the week with their special titles like Fantastic Friday and Smarty, the smartboard. One needs to have prior knowledge of key vocabulary and the concepts of numbers and time to be fluent in calendar time. What is the key vocabulary? Some key vocabulary terms include chase, pit stall, pole position, and series. To be fluent, one needs to be taught NASCAR rules, regulations, key vocabulary. Without these, one would be absolutely clueless. Ask an expert from the classroom community. I consulted with a 6-year-old student to discover her views on literacy. Yes, I like to read and write. At home, I have to read books in Spanish. People read and write to learn. It is important to read and write so you can go to college and you can read to your baby. She seems to value literacy more for its real-world implications than for academic purposes. Ask an expert from the NASCAR community. I consulted with Kyle Brown, an avid NASCAR fan, to discover his views on literacy in NASCAR.
It's important to be literate in NASCAR because, like anything, the more you know about it, the more you'll understand and be able to follow what's going on. Imagine trying to watch a football game if you had no concept of what a down was, or how many points a touchdown was worth, or why the players would play hard for a couple of seconds, try to tackle each other, and then walk around and go back to the huddle. It's the same way in racing.
It seems as though Kyle values literacy in NASCAR for the purposes of enjoyment of the sport and social interactions. Although literacy in the classroom and outside of the classroom look very different, expert members of both literacy communities value literacy for its utility in real-world and social settings. So why do we as teachers rely heavily on traditional literacy methods, while often ignoring out-of-school literacy experiences rich in textual information and significant to students' lives? Out-of-school literacy experiences can be helpful in equipping students with skills needed for success in school. Students active in NASCAR community may speak in NASCAR code to other fans, but in different code in other contexts. They are learning to code switch and demonstrating sensitivity to the relationship between language status and context. Camborne studied how children who struggled with school-based tasks often excelled in mastering complex concepts in out-of-school settings. Perhaps reading and writing could be approached in a more natural and engaging way, rather than a set of distinct steps, each of which must be mastered before another one can be introduced. Camborne has established a set of conditions for reading and writing. Immersion. Children surrounded by a variety of text. Demonstration. Children have the opportunity to see others using text. Use. Children have the opportunity to read and write to make sense of their experiences. Feedback. Children learn to read and write by engaging with others. Approximation. Children make best guesses. Responsibility. Children assume ownership of learning to read and write. Expectation. Children are expected to learn to read and write in the school setting. Engagement. Children learn to read and write when they are engaged in the process. This is similar to the way I learned about NASCAR, through social interaction and immersion in the sport. The teacher has established many of these conditions to help children learn in calendar time. By using Camborne's conditions for reading and writing and drawing upon authentic text of student interest, we as teachers can make in-school literacy practices accessible to all students.